What is up, guys? Welcome back to Off the Gridiron, our, second series of Off the Dribble for the next month or so, uh, featuring myself, Aashrith, and my co-host, Chetan. Now, today was meant to be sort of like a chill, like let's react to the both conferences, like let's give our predictions for the divisions. Honestly, it was going to be a pretty boring episode.
hmm
For, however, now interesting because somehow, some way. So let's go back to January 2025. The Dallas, like the super city of Dallas, had Luka Doncic, probably one of the most generational talents to play in the NBA like ever, realistically. Like we can't think of many people that have come in and had a 7 year stretch in terms of like personal success than Luka Doncic. Second, on the in an AT&T Stadium, they had a player named Micah Parsons, who might have been probably one of the best defensive prospects of all time. He, like, the only player comparable to him in his first like 6 seasons is Reggie White, also for a Packer, oddly enough. And now, fast forward to August of the same year, no Luca, no Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons gets dealt to the Green Bay Packers for two first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Before I rant for the next 20 minutes on why I think we're in the Super Bowl, Chetan, thoughts?
Um, it's kind of crazy how you don't want to pay like a top 10, 15 player in the NFL, especially being a non-quarterback player and how he impacts their defense so much. That defense is going to be like, oh my, I don't even want to think about like the Cowboys defense anymore because it's going to
Yeah,
be terrible. But
yeah,
going to the Packers side, I mean, you guys were already good. You guys were already like in contention kind of. I feel like you could have made a push, but I mean, I feel like this just kind of like solidifies what you need. You have a top 15 player in the league, probably the best defender, second best defender in the league. If you want to argue, Miles Garrett's the best defender in the league right now. You could say that if you want to, but I think Micah is a lot more versatile than Miles Garrett is, especially because he can play in coverage a little bit too as a linebacker. So I think that'll help a lot. Those two first round picks. I mean, Micah is what 26 years old.
yeah,
Yeah, so he's like entering the prime of his career. I feel like next 4 or 5 years, especially if he stays healthy, he'll easily become a Hall of Famer, be one of the most talked about defensive players that the NFL has seen. His like resume already for the year he's been in the league, it's pretty impressive. And also being like the highest paid non-quarterback player in NFL history is pretty crazy. So you gotta have some talent to be able to do that.
yeah. Um, I mean, this is like the if you look back in like the past like 6, 7 years of the Packers sort of like free agency to off-season like troubles, right? Like we were in the mix for drafting TJ Watt because he went to Wisconsin. That didn't happen. We were second place to the Bears for Khalil Mack. They just offered one more pick than us and they got Khalil Mack. Last offseason, rumors about T. Higgins, rumors about Max Crosby, like so many like high end, top end elite talent has been rumored to come to Green Bay for so long, and yet we're used to the same old like heartbreak, 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 heartbreak from like random aggregator accounts baiting us into thinking that we're gonna get players and like this is like the same, right? I mean, everyone saw the Twitter account with the red dog like tweet out that Micah Parsons is gonna be a Packer. And I mean, that guy's had a bit of a heater, but again, it's another unverified source telling us about news. So you take it with a grain of salt, right? Like I texted Chetan 2 days ago, like fuck, bro. Like he texted me, "Are you seeing Twitter?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, fuck. Like this might be real." And like now, like if you were to give the Packers a grade on both sides of the ball, you'd say they're closer to like a B plus A minus offense and closer to like a B minus C defense.
Yeah.
Now we somehow the two first round picks are going to be between like 24 and 32. Like it's still in the NFL they're more valuable than the NBA, but still like it's not really I'm not really troubled by like you're not going to get players as good as Micah Parsons with that pick.
Yeah.
And you get rid of Kenny Clark, who a lot of people outside of Green Bay think that he's a pretty good player because he made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago. Dude, this he might be the worst one of the worst contracts in Green Bay history. Like he got a fake Pro Bowl in 2023 after everyone got hurt. He used that to leverage it into a $20 million per year extension, and like he got most of that front loaded on a sign-on bonus. So last year he got $38 million, and he was probably our third worst defensive player.
Wow.
It was disgusting. He's 30. Like he's not young, and he's effectively washed in my opinion. If he has a bounce back, it'd be very unexpected. So while most people would see, oh wow, three-time Pro Bowler Kenny Clark, he might be worth a third round pick. No, like he's bad at football. Like this is objectively a win. We paid less for Micah Parsons than the 49ers did for Trey Lance. We
That's
paid
crazy.
less for Micah Parsons than the Bears did for Khalil Mack 7 years ago. Like I think we paid less for Micah Parsons than the Commanders did for Laramie Tunsil this offseason. So it's in my opinion, it's a negotiating masterclass. Jerry Jones should live a long and prosperous life because this is going to keep on happening as long as he's the owner. But yeah, a
See
Super
you again
Bowl.
next.
And I'll say this right now, like if we were doing this predictions episode yesterday, I would not have picked the Packers to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But right now, bro,
I
it,
looking at the NFC. I mean, that's what we're gonna get into next. But
yeah.
like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't. It's the Eagles and you guys. That's what it's gonna probably come down to at the end.
So speaking of which, let's then move on, right? So we have our NFC predictions. I think to make it easier, we'll talk about each division and we'll go in the order in north, south, east, west.
Okay, yeah,
Just order the compass. So we'll do the NFC, then AFC, then Super Bowl.
yeah,
So we'll start with, well, funny enough, the
yeah. The
NFC
North.
North, where you have the Packers, Lions, Vikings, and Bears. So who do you think is going to win the division? What do you have any hot takes about teams in the division, etc.?
I think that obviously you guys are gonna win the division now. I mean, I think I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the Lions either, so I've never had them winning the division. I kind of hate the Lions. So I've always had you guys winning the division, but my hot take for this is people probably do have the Lions 1 or 2. I have the Lions 3 and have the Vikings 2.
Hmm,
Yeah, I'm pretty high on the Vikings. Is Jordan Addison suspended for like 4 games?
3 games, first 3 games.
Games. Okay. I mean, I think even like that's 3 games. When he comes back, like that's will be amazing. They got Adam Thielen back, a hometown favorite. So in those 3 games, you still have a really, really good wide receiver too. That'll help a lot. And then when Addison comes back, that gives McCarthy an even better security blanket. So he already is coming into technically his first season in the league with probably the first or second best receiver, and then has a really good wide receiver 2 and a very veteran presence in his wide receiver 3. And I think that defense is also a little underrated. I think Dallas Turner is going to have a really good year this year. I think this is a
Mm,
year where people start to realize like actually like how talented he is and he'll like fully produce. So I'm
mm.
expecting a big year. They still have TJ Hawkinson. They still have Aaron Jones in the backfield. So they have like a bunch of complementary pieces. So if it just all comes down to JJ McCarthy at the end of the like thing. So I feel like I think he has all the tools to just come in and be able to just do what he needs to do. I don't think it's going to be a flashy like rookie season per se. I think he'll just take them where they need to do, and I think the coaching staff is going to do a good job of just making him comfortable and confident throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, I have the lines up with the Vikings, but I don't think that's a bad take. Like I guess so. I'll start first, and with
Mhm.
my record, and I have the Packers obviously winning the division. I have the Lions finishing second, the Vikings finishing third, and the Bears finishing fourth.
Yeah.
And but I have the Bears finishing 8 and 9. So it's like I think this will be the best division in football.
Mhm.
I know people are saying the AFC West. We'll talk about that in later in the episode, but I think this is going to be the best division. I have, but funny enough, my hot take is that the Lions missing the playoffs. So I have all three of the Lions, Vikings, and Bears missing the playoffs, but I still think they're all going to be around 9-8, 8 and 9, 8 and 9, like very very close records. You touched on why you think the Vikings are good. I'll touch on why I think the Lions are bad. Not bad, but like 6 games worse than last season. And like it's mainly coordinated turnover.
Yeah.
And you lose Ben Johnson to the Bears, I think that's a humongous loss. You lose Aaron Glenn to the Jets, I think that's probably the bigger loss. He's a culture setter. He showed last season that like no matter who is playing for him on defense, he's gonna try to make it work. Like the defense wasn't great to end the season, but with like 20 players on IR, still having a defense that does something is impressive to me. So I think those two being gone is huge. Also, Frank Ragnow, their center, him retiring, and them being forced across the offensive line to start rookies and second year players alongside Penei Sewell, obviously one of the best right tackles in the league. But I think the rest of the offensive line is super inexperienced, and I don't know, like I need to with that with pressure being so much more accessible to Jared Goff now. I want to see how he handles pressure, how he
Mhm.
handles now Micah Parsons, how he handles the Vikings pass rush to Brian Flores defense, how he handles the Bears like hopefully probably better defense. Um, so I think the lines at least are going to be 3 games worse. If I have them being like 6 games worse.
Yeah, that's a valid take.
So next we can talk about the NFC South.
Um, this is it's kind of a whack division, not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I have the Bucks winning the division.
Yeah,
Um, I think they heavily improved their already solid wide receiver core. I don't know if Mike Evans will have his what is it 12th 1,000
yes,
yard
yes.
season. I don't know if that will happen this year because I mean last year it did take him the last game to do it, but he did miss 3 games. So I mean you can kind of like say what you want to say about that, but that Chris Godwin's going to come back. They have 2 really good rookies coming into that wide receiver room, so I think that'll help Baker a lot. Um, 2, I'm gonna have the Falcons. I think the Falcons are actually gonna be like I don't think they're gonna be like amazing, but I think they'll be like decently fun to watch. I think Penix will be a fun player to watch. Him being at the helm finally from the beginning of the season onwards will be good for him in that offense. And I'm expecting a big year from Drake London as well. I think he has like all the tools to finally like maybe break into like a top 10 wide receiver. And
Yeah.
number 3, I'm gonna put the Saints, and then number 3, I'm gonna put the Panthers. Actually, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt this year. I think that team actually can like low key. They're not gonna be good, but I think they'll be better than what they've been the last like 2 3 years. Even though last year was a step in the right direction, I think Bryce Young is a little bit more confident, kind of knows what he needs to do. So I mean, losing a veteran receiver like Adam Thielen isn't gonna help, but you do have a rookie receiver who is arguably a top like 2 3 rookie receiver that there is in the draft class. So I mean, if you can get that connection down, I think that'll be a fun team to watch as well.
Yeah.
And then the Saints, I
So
like talk about.
no, I mean they're on a serious franchise. That's why I was surprised you had the Panthers so close to the Saints.
Yeah,
Um, for me, there's like a clear 1, 2, 3, 4 in the division. Like I
yeah.
think the
I
Bucks.
don't think the
Yeah,
Panthers are actually close to the Saints. I think the Saints are very
yeah,
much like very certainly that fourth in that division.
yeah. We have the same order, so
Yeah.
I'll talk about my hot take, which is that I think the Bucks are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I think I really like the way their team is constructed. I like Baker like a lot. I think
Mhm.
he had one of the best seasons in the league last year, but no one really gave him enough credit for it. They have Mike Evans, who to me is like he's still that guy, you know, like maybe he's not the top end receiver he was 5, 6 years ago, but still like 1,100 yards, like is on the board for him, and that's pretty good. And
Mhm.
along with that, you're gonna get Chris Godwin back mid-season. You have Emeka Egbuka, who's who's in apparently in camp the best receiver on the team. And I really like Bucky Irving. He's super explosive, and a Todd Bowles defense is always going to be good. So I'm pretty high on the Bucks, and I'm also pretty high on the Panthers. Maybe it's just because I get Carolina fever from seeing the stadium every single morning, but like actually, I should hate the stadium. They close all the roads. Anyways, whatever. But I think I like Bryce Young. The city really reps him here. Like it's like a Bryce Young town. Honestly, even more than like a LaMelo Ball town, which is crazy. But they really rep Bryce Young here. T Mac, Ted McMillan, he's gonna be a big difference maker. But I think the most underrated player on the team at this point, which is crazy to me because I think he's a top five corner, is JC Horn.
Yeah,
And
he just
and
never
if he, and
healthy
it
for a full season.
never
That's the problem.
exactly. But I think he's a top five corner in the league. I think like if he stays healthy, he's at that side of the field is gone, and they're gonna make life a lot pretty hard for players like Drake London, Emeka Buka, Mike Evans that I mentioned before, and I mean if Chris Olave stays healthy, then Chris Olave too.
Yeah.
So I think the Panthers will be closer, like much closer to the Falcons than people think,
Mhm.
and I think the Saints are gonna end up picking Garrett Nussmeier in the first round next year because his dad's their offensive coordinator.
That's a good take. I also do think that somehow Kamara is going to find a way to have another good season like he normally does.
Yeah, yeah.
Even with the terrible team around him, he still somehow finds a way to produce, which is
He'll have a
crazy. He's
16.
still going to be like
He'll have
30.
a he'll have a 16 catch, 33-yard
Yeah,
game at some point.
and with like 3
Uh,
touchdowns somehow all coming in within like 5 yards of the goal line.
All right. So we'll do the NFC East, which is the other division that this trade impacted. Um, I can start for this one.
Okay.
So I think this one is pretty clear to me too. I don't know who you have third and who you have fourth, but I think the Eagles are gonna break the streak, win the division for being the first team since the Andy Reid Eagles to win the NFC East 2 times in a row, which is a crazy stat. Oh five is in 20 years since the same
Why?
team won 2 times in a row. Second, I think is they're gonna give them a run for their money. Second is the Commanders. So I have the Eagles around like 12 wins. I have the Commanders around like 10 wins. I
Mhm.
think I think Jaden takes that next step. I don't think it's really gonna be a CJ Stroud sophomore slump type season.
Yeah.
I love the Laramie Tunsil addition. They got dogs on the defensive end who are a bit old. Like Von Miller might give you 20 good snaps. Bobby Wagner is still ageless somehow. Like and they have someone else I'm blanking out on. Anyways, they have a good amount of defensive players. So I have them finishing second. I have the Giants finishing third. I
See.
think I think Russell Wilson for 5 games plus Jackson Dart for 10 games is going to be good, but like I think their offense might win them 1 game. Their defensive line is the best defensive line in football, or at least it's like top
Their
three.
defensive line is
Um,
insane, bro.
they have Dexter Lawrence, best nose tackle in the league, in my opinion. Shout out Chris Jones. But Dexter Lawrence is like really right up there. They have Brian Burns on one side. They have Abdul Card on the other side. They have Kayvon Thibodeau coming through the middle. Like they're like it's gonna be tough for quarterbacks against that defensive line, and they're gonna get a lot of trap wins. I think like week three. It's funny because like one of my best friend's a Giants fan, but like I told him that like week three against the Chiefs is not what we're talking about. But I really think that could be a trap game for the Chiefs. Like it's sandwiched in between Eagles and Ravens games, Eagles and Bills games, something. Is that Giants game, and I feel like with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, with Abdul Carter, they could really get after and make some quarterbacks regret stuff. And also, I think the Cowboys are fourth because how the fuck do you trade Micah Parsons?
Yeah. I have the same exact ranking as well. I am a lot. I think. I mean, a lot of our friends are probably expecting the Giants to be like terrible. I don't think
Yeah,
their record is gonna like be amazing, amazing. But I think that team is gonna take huge steps. I feel like within like another year or two, like especially if they can solidify some more like key offensive pieces down, they could be like actually solid team because that defense is insane, especially that D line. So if they can keep just
put
like
a number on it.
what the wins.
Yeah, because
I'm
our
gonna look.
friend Shravan, he has 5 wins.
I'm gonna give them 7. I'm gonna give them
That'd be a
7.
great that'd be a great season for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them 7. I think that's doable. I feel like
Hmm.
a lot of teams, like you said, like a lot of trap wins that they can have. A lot of teams are probably gonna come in thinking that they can just dog walk them, but especially with the defense is gonna be putting pressure on so many quarterbacks night after night. Like it's not gonna be easy to get the ball out. So
Yeah,
be a underrated defense to go up against.
yeah,
But going back to
for
the
sure.
Commanders real quick, their defense is kind of stacked, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't say stacked. What makes you think they're
They have
stacked?
some like really good play. I mean, they have Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu is a really good linebacker. I mean,
Hmm.
Lattimore is not like a top 10 cornerback anymore, but he still like can shut down when he needs to. Javon Kinlaw is pretty decent. Who else do they have? I saw another name. Deron Payne is very overrated in my opinion. I don't think as good
Bobby
as
Wagner, Bobby Wagner's still good.
yeah, but
All pro
Bobby
last year.
Wagner's still there. Yeah, it's a pretty decent defense.
Yeah, yeah. I think their defense is going to be much improved. And Dan Quinn's their coach. I think
Yeah,
having your worst side of the ball, or having the side of the ball where your star player isn't there, be your head coach. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Jaden Daniels being your like best player is good when you're a defensive coach because he can still carry the offense. But when your defense needs help, it's nice to have a defensive coach.
yeah.
Okay, so what next is the West.
hmm
So Rams, Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals. What's your ranking?
This is honestly like low key a kind of a hard ranking to do, but
I agree.
I have the Rams one. I
Hmm.
have this actually might be very different from you. I have the Seahawks 2, the Niners
Whoa.
3, and the Cardinals 4.
Yeah, I think every single ranking is different.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to say mine and then we can explain,
Yeah.
or do you want to start by explaining? Okay.
You
So
go.
I have the Niners winning the division.
Okay.
Um, I think their schedule is too easy.
That's true. Yeah.
I have the Cardinals coming second.
Oh wow.
I have the Rams third, and I have the Seahawks fourth.
Wow.
And this is like if Matthew Stafford's been lying this whole time about the severity of his back injury, I reserve the right to change my pick.
hmm
But the reason I have the Rams so low is because their quarterback can't walk in a straight line.
That is
And
true.
if you're 37 years old with an epidural in your back, bro, I'm not trusting you to make the damn playoffs. Not in this conference.
So that's a good reason. I didn't take that into consideration fully, but I think that the addition of Devontae Adams is gonna like help them tremendously. I feel like that will allow Puka to even like be more consistent and be more at the top of his game. I think that defense is always going to be like solid. They're never gonna lack too much on that side of the ball. They have like really good playmakers like Jared Verse on that team, so I feel like he'll have like a really really good year. The team I wanted to talk about mainly was the Seahawks. I think people think that the Seahawks aren't going to be good. I think, yeah, like you have Sam Darnold at quarterback. He showed that he was able to do it, kind of, not really, like maybe like 50%, we'll say.
No,
They
no,
did
he had
lose.
a great year.
He did have a good year, and then he started losing it towards the end a little bit, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they did lose a key wide receiver in DK, but I think JSN is going to have a huge, huge year. I always thought that when they drafted him, he was the more talented wide receiver. I think his route running, just everything about what he does, his catching and everything it's pretty top notch. That defense is what really, really sticks out to me, especially that secondary. They have two
yeah,
like huge, huge playmakers on that secondary in Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen. I think both of them are great in coverage. They're great in the run as DBs. I think that they're gonna carry that side of the ball, so it's gonna be really really hard to throw the ball against them. I'm a really just like basketball. I'm a big defensive guy, even in football. I think like that helps a lot, especially when you can kind of shut down one side of the field. So I think that will help them a lot. The Cardinals, I don't know. I don't really like know too much about the Cardinals, so I put them four. I mean, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a lot better year than he did his rookie season. He did get a lot bigger. He probably got a lot faster. People are probably. I still think like Kyler is underrated. I think he has a talent. He has like all the tools that you need to be a good quarterback, except just being short. But I think he'll have another good year too. That defense is like it's a pretty decent defense. It's not terrible. They're above average in my opinion. And then the Niners, I just don't like the Niners.
that's fair. Um,
And also,
so
who are you
yeah,
gonna throw the ball to?
that's the issue, right? Because
Because Brandon Ayuk, first of all, last season, I had him on my fantasy team, first of all.
yeah,
So the first like 3 games he played, it was complete dog water. Then he tore his ACL. And now you're coming back after an ACL injury and getting paid like the 2 seasons before that. I don't think he's gonna produce at all at the same level that he did before. You have Ricky Pearsall, who is in my like a good player. Coming off another injury too from last season. He did play in games last year, but like he still has to get his more reps in. I mean, George Kittle, like, I mean, you can throw him the ball if when you need to and you want to, especially in the end zone. But again, has kind of fallen into more of that blocking role in that offense nowadays. Christian McCaffrey still has tendonitis in his Achilles. I don't really know. Like, I think that's like your most all around go to player on your offense, and especially when you don't have a player like Debo who could kind of do like the stuff McCaffrey does, like coming in the backfield, also catching passes in the backfield, doing things like that, and like yards after catch. I think just losing a player like that is gonna be hard for them to move the ball up and down the field. But again, their schedule is pretty easy.
Yeah, so I disagree with you on some of the point for the Niners, so I'll quickly go there before I talk about the Cardinals. But I think one, I think Kittle from 3 years ago maybe fell into more of that sort of blocking role.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle these past 2 years, it's two back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, two back-to-back almost 80 catch seasons. Um, I think he's almost being misrepresented by the mass media as the sort of like players falling off. I think he's the second best tight end in the league. I think he's gonna be Brock Purdy's primary target, and if you can get him in fantasy, honestly, he's going like the sixth round. It's a steal. I think I'm really high on Christian McCaffrey. Um, every other year, C-Mac is the best running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
This would be that year. I'm prioritizing him in fantasy drafts as well. I love Christian McCaffrey. Great receiving threat, so that's another person Brock Purdy can throw to. And if he's healthy, like with ease, a top three running back in the league. So I think they'll be chill. Like, do I think they're gonna do any damage in the playoffs? No, there's at least three better teams in the NFC. But I think um I think they'll win the division, especially with an injured Matt Stafford. But the Cardinals I'm high on because one, I think Kyler's underrated. I think Marvin's gonna have a big bounce back year. They just need time to build a connection, I think. And I'm super high on Trey McBride, who could rival George Kittle for that second best tight end position as well. He's incredible. Um, a sort of a security blanket for Kyler. He finally scored a touchdown, which was nice. I think unironically breaking that sort of glass pane shield of like scoring a touchdown is pretty big, and like he followed it up with two more the next week. I think what I really like about this team, though, is that Jonathan Gannon is a defensive coach who had no defensive players. This past offseason, they go out, they get Josh Sweat from the Eagles, big time acquisition. But my favorite is they steal Will Johnson in the second round, a player who was supposed to go top five or top 10 in this past draft, who had some injury concerns and had a down year at Michigan. He played the whole year in torn foot. Of course, it's going to be a bit worse,
Yeah.
but he's fully healthy. He's making plays. Like Buda Baker is still pretty decent. Who else did they have that I want to mention? I like Dalvin Tomlinson. They have a lot of players on defense who can make plays, and they have a coach who's going to back them up. So I
Mm-hmm.
like the Cardinals a lot.
That's a good take.
So we should do we'll speed through the AFC next.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the AFC North. Another contender for the best division in football. Who do you have winning it? Just give us your ranking.
I have the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals, and then the Browns.
Oh, the Steelers over the Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
So, well, for context, me and Aashrith like recorded an AFC episode, but then we didn't release it. So we're like doing the AFC like again with the NFC. So I had the Steelers above the Bengals before, but then now like I kind of came to the realization like the Bengals are not going to be able to guard anyone in the secondary. Like they did
How'd you
resign.
come with this realization after they re-signed Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah,
Like
but still, even
to
after they
break down the
resigned,
fourth wall even more, we recorded that AFC episodes a week before the Bengals signed Trey Hendrickson and he had the Bengals in second. How are they
I
not going to guard people now?
well that their secondary is so bad. Like all of their corners get burnt like consistently, and like even if like you have like a top like three pass rusher getting to the quarterback within like 3-4 seconds, those corners are getting burnt in like 2 seconds. So like I don't like I think you need to have a full on balanced defense. I don't think and like the wide receivers that they go up against, like they're not gonna be easy. Like the Browns have Jerry Judy, I guess. Like he's pretty decent. The Steelers have DK. Like, I mean, DK is still a very talented receiver. I mean, all he does is run in a straight line, but he's like 6'5" and like 230 pounds. So I mean, like you're still gonna have to guard
What
that.
about the quarterback? What about the quarterback?
Yeah, it's a that's a concern too. That is a concern.
Because
He's
all the Jets said was, "Oh, if he's better than Zach Wilson, then we're gonna be fine." And he ended up getting less wins than Zach Wilson. So now all the Steelers fans are saying, "Oh, if he's better than Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky, we'll be fine." I mean, will you? I don't know.
okay. He's definitely better than Mason Rudolph.
No, but yeah, of course he is. Of course he's better than Mason Rudolph. But like, he's also definitely better than Zach Wilson. Did that change the Jets' fortunes?
Like also like him like saying that it's his last year. Like I think like he's I also like half the time when he was playing with the Jets, I don't think he like really wanted to be there. They were like getting like majority of the time they're getting digged. So like he probably thinks he has a better roster. He probably thinks he has a better roster on the Steelers. I feel like being in his last year, he'll probably go out and not try harder. I think he'll perform better because I just think like when you have the right mindset, like I think your game just changes. But like that is a concern, obviously. Like you do have a 40-year-old quarterback at the helm, but it's for 1 year. So I think like that can like he can do something. My biggest concern last time was their corners. I thought all their corners were washed, and then their best corner is like a flag merchant. But like I still think Joey Porter Jr. is overrated. People like some people I see people putting him in top 10 for cornerbacks. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. All he does is get flags. But I think Jalen Ramsey had his injury concerns the last couple of years, so like I feel like he can have a really good bounce back year. You do have Darius Slay, who's probably going to be going up against like wide receiver twos or even sometimes wide receiver threes. So like I think like he'll be able to hold his own with that. So the more I thought about it and not like just like hating on my friend's team, I kind of just like maybe I was like, okay, like I think they have a more balanced team. But again, like that Bengals offense can like even though they don't have a defense, they can put up 50 and still beat you like 50-40. So that I just don't think like for an 18 game season or an 18-week season that like you're gonna be able to win games consistently with the defense that bad.
So, well, this is perfect because I have the Bengals winning the division. I have the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, and I love the fact first of all that Joe Burrow played in the preseason. Like now he's warm, like he's not like struggling week one like he always does. And again, like last season they would have made the playoffs, they beat the Patriots. It's like it's like they weren't like too far off, even with like they probably had the worst defense last year, right? Because you bring back Trey Hendrickson after a good year, and you bring in Shamar Stewart. So I think just based on like addition, they have a better defense than last year. I think we can agree. I think we're confident that they can at least replicate what they did last season offensively.
Yeah.
Like you have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You have Chase Brown coming off a solid year, projected to be one of the 10 best running backs in the league. You have a player like that, and they were 8-9 last season and had 6 losses by 1 score or less.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in these games. Like it's like what I'm saying is not like too outrageous. The Ravens had 12 wins last year. I think they'll get 2 less. The Bengals had 8 wins last year. I think they'll get 3 more. Like I think the map is a lot closer than people want to say it is. And again, I love the Ravens roster, but I think like at some point we're going to be right about Derrick Henry slowing down. And I think this is going to be the year. And I don't think like Zay Flowers, as much as I love him, is a wide receiver too. I don't think Mark Andrews can sustain that level of production he did 5 years ago today. I think Isaiah likely being hurt is an issue. And their defense could be cool, but I just think the Bengals are substantially better at one end of the field, and I think they're going to take advantage of that this year.
I think I think Derrick Henry's still gonna have a crazy year. I feel like every single year I say like, oh, he's gonna, but like a down year for him would be like what? How many yards did he have last year? 1,900.
1,800 something.
Like
Yeah, 1,800.
a down year for him would be like 1,400. That would be like comparing it to last season. People would be like, bro, like
But yeah,
1,400.
but that's a big loss though. That's 400 yards of offense you're losing. That has to be generated somewhere else. right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I would actually think that Derrick Henry would have around 1,350 to 1,400 yards of offense,
Hmm.
and that would probably result in a lot more losses. Like it's 400 less yards of offense that I don't think Lamar is going to make up for. Like I don't think who's their wide receiver three? DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's going to make it up anymore. Like I think like 1,800 for Derrick Henry is a lot, and Lamar had a phenomenal year last year. If he even takes like a slight step back, they could easily lose two more games, especially the Bengals. They won in overtime against the Bengals.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, Zay Flowers did have a good year last year.
What do you have, 1,000 yards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he can. Maybe he'll have a better year, like 1,200. But
If he takes a step to win the division, I just don't know if he has that in his game.
I think he has it in this game. I just think he's too small. Like
Yeah,
there's
that's what I
like
meant. Yeah.
when you're that small, like you gotta. I feel like there's only a couple of receivers that are like that size that like really like use their like body properly, and then one of them is like Amon Ra. Like Amon Ra is like probably like the only like receiver that like size that I can think of the top of my head that is like probably like producing at that high level.
Yeah.
But
So
moving on to
the AFC
the
South.
yeah, I have the Texans winning this division. Then I have the Jaguars at 2, the Titans at 3, and then the Colts at 4.
Yeah, I have this. You said the Jaguars at 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same order. But I have the Jaguars making the playoffs. That's I guess my take. I
Yeah,
guess I know that's a hot.
The Jaguars are my sleeper team this year.
Yeah, I like the Jaguars a lot. We don't gotta talk too much about this division. But do you think CJ Stroud will have a bounce back year? Is that in the cards?
Yeah, I think he will. I that second year slump hit. I feel like he'll come back and he'll be a lot better. Isn't their offensive line like hurt a little bit right now?
Their offensive line is worse than last season's. That's why I asked you the question.
Yeah.
They traded away their best offensive lineman. They drafted one in the first
I
round,
think
I
I
think,
think
Josh
this
Connerly.
and I think their like replacement starter who like was playing in training camp got injured or something. So I don't. Yeah, it's like low key
Yeah.
might cook. Not gonna lie.
Like I think they go 9-8 and the Jags go 8-9 and lose the division. Is my like guess.
Yes, yeah, that's a good take. I don't think he'll have like. I don't think he's gonna have worse. He's not gonna have a worse season than last year, but at the same time, it's not gonna be like a crazy like okay, like he's coming back like from a second year slump, being in like MVP conversations or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. We can speed through this one. The worst division in football, the AFC East. Uh, I have the Bills winning the division by like 8 games.
Yeah.
Like, I had the Patriots in second. I think
Mhm.
they'll be one of the most improved teams in the league. They signed a lot of defensive players. They signed Stephon Diggs too, which is pretty cool. I have the Dolphins in third. Tua probably gets hurt. They probably shit the bed. And then somehow this franchise still exists and hasn't got relegated to the XFL yet. The Jets could be one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life in fourth. And they can't. They might pick a quarterback again. Who knows? Maybe they'll get Cade Klubnik or something. I don't know. The Jets in fourth.
The Jets are like actually like such a dumb franchise because like there's like reports coming out of the Jets like camp that they don't want to like make Brees Hall the like adamant like RB1. They want him to split carries with like Braylon Allen. I'm like, bro, 2 years ago Brees Hall was like a top 3 like running back in the league. Like, what are you doing?
No, but apparently, okay. So this is from like Jake, the Jets fan himself, right? He's of the mindset that Braylon Allen better than Brees Hall.
Whoa, what?
So wait. I'm on his side on this one.
What?
I hate Brees Hall.
Brees Hall
Like
is
my
dirty.
no, my team survived Brees Hall last year, bro. Brees Hall fucking sucked last year. I
He
hate Brees
did suck
Hall.
last year. He
I
did suck
I
last year. I will give
so
you that.
okay. So 2 years ago, right, when Brees Hall got drafted as his top three running back in fantasy the next year, the season before that, he had a stat pad his way to 1,000 yards. He
That
like
is true.
the only reason people thought that guy was good is because the Jets were so bad outside of him that like any competent play looked like a top end like whatever.
Whatever.
Now I think Brees Hall can still be good. but not behind that offensive line, bro. Like as
Your
much as they
offensive
draft from
line,
the
your offensive line 2 years ago was worse though, or like probably as worse.
yeah. So why am I gonna bank on improvement? Like like this guy is gonna do the exact same thing. Okay, listen, Brees Hall has 900 yards of offense where he's not like a top three running back. Like if you're starting running back has less than 1,000 yards of offense in this modern NFL, when Saquon had 2,000, then like you deserve to split carries low key. And Braylon Allen, you should watch some Braylon Allen highlights, bro. I'm sounding like Jake,
Nah, I have. He just runs through the middle.
bro. He's so huge, bro.
Yeah, but he's not Derrick Henry, bro. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're right. He could be AJ Dillon, but anyway, I'm not gonna comment with the Jets anymore.
Yeah, it's not like either one of them will make a difference.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Fuck Jets.
Yeah, I have no hot takes in this division, right? Like the Patriots being second is probably a
The
common take at
Dolphins
this
are
point.
also fucking ass, bro. Whoever
Oh yeah,
likes
yeah,
them, bro,
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel bad for you, bro. That team is
yeah.
garbage.
The Dolphins are terrible. Jesus, I mean, if Tua stays healthy, they could win like 8 games. But like, I
Bro, your
think
starting wide receiver says that your starting running back shouldn't be in for third and
goal
third
line,
like
yeah,
third
yeah,
downs. Like bro, that team is cooked.
yeah. So cooked. All right, onto like what most people are saying is the most intriguing division in football, the AFC West. Um, to me, it's not intriguing who's going to win, but I
Yeah,
think
I think the
second,
Chiefs
third, and
are.
fourth, yeah, but I think second, third, and fourth could be in any order. So what's your
Yeah,
order, Mr. Chargers
mine is
fan?
obviously the Chargers, Broncos, and then the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Some people probably have the Broncos. Some people probably have the Broncos over the Chargers, but I think like low key, like I saw this tweet a couple of days ago. Like the Chargers this season, or like the last couple of seasons, or especially last season, were not like a fun team to watch, but they like made it work. And I feel like that's gonna be us this year, especially this year again, because we don't have like flashy players on our team like that, where like they're out there going like making big plays or like running it for like 70 yards down the field or something like that. But it's a very well-rounded team, and it's not like a crazy amount of big names, especially on that defensive side. But the offensive side, like as we know, we got Keenan Allen back. That's going to open up a lot of things for Lad. I think Lad's going to have another great year, even better than he was last year. I feel like somehow like Herbert is like a very underrated quarterback, especially for like dude. People don't put respect on his name, bro. Like I
They
think
shouldn't, bro. They shouldn't put. What has he done?
he's so talented though, bro. Like
Okay, bro, come on. Talent, he's gotta bro. At this point, you gotta accomplish something. Like he has less career accomplishments than Trevor Lawrence.
he has less
Like
what?
career accomplishments than Trevor Lawrence, and no one respects Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but Trevor Lawrence also like it's even okay. He might have more playoff wins than Herbert, but like
Well, yeah. And who do you get the win against?
Herbert, okay, I get
and
it.
and how'd the win happen?
Who was our fucking head coach that year? Fucking
I
Brandon
don't,
Staley.
bro. The head coach was good enough to get you a 27-point lead. The head coach gave you a
You can't say
27-point
that.
lead.
You cannot say that because that year I think we blew like 4 to 5 like 15-point leads going from week 7 onto that game. Like that was
So
probably the
so
worst
so
football I
if
ever watched.
the
From the,
so if the coach is good enough to get you those leads, why can't the quarterback keep them?
yo, bro, I'm telling you, if Harbaugh was a coach, then I don't think we don't give that lead up. That's what I'm saying. If Harbaugh was our coach that year, we not lose. We don't lose that game.
Okay. The thing with Justin Herbert is I think he's so overrated. He needs to earn the credit. Like at some point we're gonna stop talking about the talent, bro. At some point we're gonna see the results. Like this guy last year had 25 touchdowns and 3 picks. So, like a very efficient regular season. He only had 3 interceptions. Or like 1 or 2 picks. How does he have more picks in the playoff game than he did in the entire regular season? That guy was trash. Like that, like doo doo garbage, bro. Win something. Win a playoff game before I'm calling you a top 5 quarterback.
I'm not saying he's top 5. I'm saying he's top 10. He's 10.
I'm saying like top 10, bro. We're really pushing it.
That's crazy work, bro.
What has he done?
That's fine. Okay, he's also played in like I think 2 playoff games in his career. Or
Wow.
like 3. and or I think it's actually
He's played in two, I think. He played in
yeah.
two.
He's played in two and he's lost both of them. Like
And he
that's
was disgustingly awful in like one and a half of them.
bro. He's still like easily a top 10 quarterback in the league. Like no player, no like I can't name 12 quarterbacks off the top of my head right now that move the ball up and down the field as efficiently as he does. Like it, bro. It's pretty crazy.
As a top 10, you're saying guaranteed top 10?
Saying overrated is wild.
He's been so overrated. Come on.
Overrated is wild, bro. Nah,
People saying he's like no. If the general consensus is that he's better than Jalen Hurts, he's overrated.
Throwing 25 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in the season with the rookie Lad McConkey as your wide receiver 1 and Quentin Johnson that can't catch a fucking ball as your wide receiver 2 is pretty fucking insane.
But then why do you have more picks in the playoff game than you did in the regular season? He was so efficient in the regular season. Why was he so ass in the playoffs against that shit Texans defense?
That was 2 years ago with a completely whole different offensive system.
Bro, that was 6 months ago.
Bro.
We saw him in 2025, 2024 maybe. 2025, bro.
No, it was 2024.
You guys were out in December?
I mean, the game against the Texans, like, yeah, that's like whatever. But I'm talking about the Jags game. Like that game was
the Jags game is like fine, like whatever. You have Brandon Staley. What about last season? Harbaugh's your coach. He has 25 touchdowns, 3 picks, and he throws 4 in a playoff game.
It's one playoff game, bro. Let the bro live. Calling him overrated off of one playoff game is crazy.
No, I'm calling him overrated off of 6 years, bro. What has he done? He's done nothing. He's done nothing. He's done nothing of value.
I'm not saying he's gonna be he's like a Hall of Fame quarterback based on his accomplishments. I'm saying he's a top 12 quarterback in the league, a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
you can't be like, okay, for example,
can you definitively say he's better than Dak Prescott?
Yes.
Why?
What?
Why? Why is he better?
Bro,
Dak has more. Dak has more playoff wins. Dak has the best season out of all of them. He was second in MVP. Like, why is he better than Dak?
This is insane, bro. Dak's teams every single year that he's had those seasons are obviously like 15 times better than. He has CeeDee Lamb. He has he has Amari Cooper he's throwing to. He has crazy people that he's throwing to. He has
Justin Herbert at 38 touchdowns in the season throwing to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Like, let's not act like Justin. He only didn't have weapons last year.
Those two played 6 games together that year, or I think 4 games together that year.
Whatever. He had a season where he threw 38 touchdowns, bro. He's like he has enough weapons to throw like passes. He just doesn't get it done in the biggest moments.
Because he's also only played in 2 like playoff games. Like that's my thing. You can't say someone's like not a top 12 quarterback in the league because they haven't won a playoff game. That's like saying like fucking LaMelo isn't a top like 10 point guard in the league or something like that because he doesn't win.
He might not be though.
Okay, that's bad.
LaMelo is definitely closer to like 10, 12.
Or it's like people hating on Ant after like a fuck. Actually, that's also a bad example.
No, but Ant made 2 conference finals. No, I'm saying, bro. Actually, LaMelo is a great example.
No, LaMelo is a good example.
Because I don't think LaMelo is a top 10 point guard. But like he's very talented. He's very flashy. I mean, like
definitely he's top 10, bro. You can't name 10 point guards better than LaMelo. That's my thing. Like you can't just.
Oh, are we including a basketball segment in this football episode?
Comparison on how to compare them. It's because like LaMelo hasn't won shit either. Like in Charlotte at all. Like he hasn't done anything.
Yeah. But
people will probably be like, because of the talent he produces during the regular season, because of what he does, the numbers he puts up, you'll put him in top 10. It's the same thing with Herbert. Like I'm not saying Herbert is like a good playoff performer. I'm not saying he's done anything for the Chargers in the postseason. I'm not saying like anything like that. I think like he is like talent-wise and just producing in the regular season and like being a top quarterback in the league. I think he's like 10 or 11. Like I don't think you can go lower than 12.
Yeah. Well, I'm not okay. I'm not. I might even think he's top 10, but I think like if you were to
the last 2 playoff games, he's shit the bed. Like against the Texans.
If you were to if you look at all the like underrated is not a word I can use to describe Justin Herbert. Like if you were to look at any of the quarterback rankings that have been let out by the media, right? He's always between 5 and 7.
That is true.
Like he's like, and of course, like I was a big Justin Herbert fan 3 years ago. Like I was like, this guy's definitely top five. Like he's fantastic. But at some point, like you're gonna have to do something meaningful when it matters. You know what I mean? Like, and this to me is like the sort of prove it year. Like the most people compare Justin Herbert, if like most people who love Justin Herbert compare him to Peyton Manning, and like and how he looks and throws the ball, and like his top end ceiling when it came out of college is Peyton Manning, and his career so far, like statistic wise, has gone like Peyton Manning's, like just above 500, fantastic yards, no playoff success. And but this next season, year 6 or 7 for Peyton Manning, he had one of the greatest seasons of all time, won MVP, and when he made the conference finals appearance. That's what Justin Herbert has to do to match those comparisons. And if he at least gets to like MVP like ranking, if he can at least get like top five, I think it would justify like the high placement he has in a lot of rankings. Sorry for the
Yeah,
tangent.
that's a good take. I just think that like with the things he, especially in the regular season, like for example, like bro against the Chiefs played a whole quarter with a broken fucking rib, like
He's
stuff
a
like
tough player, bro, for sure.
like stuff and doing that, and then like the throws he makes doing that. That's like some of the throws, also just like in general, that some of the throws he makes are like kind of like nutty. But like that I see them firsthand. But I mean, I think that will be second. I think the Broncos are third. I feel like they have the team to be two. I think honestly, like that team is better than ours. Like I'm not gonna lie. I think from like a roster standpoint, especially defensively, I think they're more like they have more talent like that pops out on paper. So I think they have a high chance to go for second. But I think that like you said, like if Herbert can produce like he did over the last couple of years and just proves it in the playoffs, I think that would be good for us. But I think it's going to be harder this year, especially because you're losing an All Pro right tackle in Rashawn Slater, who
Yes,
like
left
it's
tackle.
left tackle. So like I mean, it's going to be a lot harder because I think we're his replacement is like Trey Pipkins the third, who like has if you're if Chargers fan watching this, you notably know that anytime that he comes in as a starter replacement, it's pretty horrific. And kind of keeping Herbert healthy the past couple seasons has been a little hard, so it's going to be harder this year. I think like this was the year where people thought like we would over the last couple of years we would be in contention for a Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be like a lot harder than people think. So that's I think he's going to have a. You said it's going to be a prove year, but I think he's going to have a worse season than he did last year. Like
Oh
realistically,
no, I
I
don't think
think it,
so.
I think it will. I think not having Rashawn Slater protecting you is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's true. And like, but I think
But also at the same time, I think our offense is going to be a little bit more run heavy this year, especially when you have
that's
two backs in Najee Harris and Amari Hampton. Like it's going to open up another side of the ball that the Chargers haven't really been as a football team in like past couple seasons.
that, bro. And I think, well, I have you guys, I have the same order, but, and I'll get to my like sort of take before we close the episode off with the Super Bowl picks. But I think that the point you just mentioned about how you guys would be a run first offense, along with like just to compound on that, this is the most balanced offense Justin Herbert's ever had, in my opinion.
That's true. Yeah.
And I guess that's a testament to Omari and Hampton. Like I don't like I always thought Eckler was a bit of a goal line merchant.
Yeah.
And he had a great year, don't get me wrong, but I always thought like he was never like the top end sort of talent, like not a top three running back.
Yeah. Because like you
I
said, like I
think
think he even was like close to 1,000 yards, and I think he
yeah,
had like 800. He was more of like a catch catching back.
yeah. And but I think Omari and Hampton is the exact opposite of that. I think
Yeah.
he's massive pause and like he's like and he's gonna really add something to Herbert's game. I think he's gonna free him up, and that honestly that's gonna help Ladd, Trey Harris, Keenan Allen a lot more than any of the receivers past. And Najee is a low-key shit RB1. I think he's a pretty solid RB2 if you can start to see again. And I think Jim Harbaugh coaching defense is always a good sign. What'd you say?
Even as an RB1 on the Steelers, I mean, like being in the league, he hasn't had under 1,000 yards in the season, hasn't missed a game. Like that's kind of what you need. Like I know like his yards per carry might be like inefficient compared to like other top running backs, but I feel like playing every single game every year, just giving that consistent 1,000 yards per season for your team, like I think that he did his job as RB1.
I think it's not the yards per carry is definitely the issue, and the fact
Yeah,
that he's so slow. Like
he is
that's the
very
thing.
slow.
Like he runs with like rocks in his feet.
Yeah,
But I
he's a
guess
little faster in like some videos I've seen, but again, like he doesn't have vision in one eye. So like if he
yeah,
can see, it would be a great 1-2 punch.
yeah.
But
If he can see,
he can't see properly though. That's a
yeah,
problem.
yeah, that is the problem. But I guess my take would be, I think the Broncos will be closer to the Raiders than they will the Chargers.
Mm.
And I'm not high on their defense.
I think
I know everyone seems to be really high on their defense because they signed the players in the Niners. They signed Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, but they just signed injury prone one, injury prone two.
that
Like
is true.
I and
Both are just
I,
running on the field.
exactly. And besides PS2, like Pat Surtain is the best corner in the league, bar none. Like he's fantastic at football. But they only beat two starting quality quarterbacks last year.
Yeah,
A
that
lot of
is
their schedule was so easy, and like the parts that weren't easy, like they beat the scraps of the Chiefs 38-0 game week 18. And everyone gassed them like, "Oh my God, could this be a potential like upset against the Bills?" And they got sparked. They got like destroyed. Just like they got beat by Lamar, just like they got beat by Joe Burrow. Like it's very like I don't know. I want to see their defense not let up 30 points against a good offense.
damn, they
And
gave up 32 points to the Broncos.
the Browns.
The
But
Browns. That's crazy
yeah,
work.
I think there was defensive touchdowns in that game. But yeah, like I think um I think the defense is slightly overrated. I think their offense will be actually better than last season. I like Archie Harvey. I like
Mhm.
Evan Ingram as a good signing.
They re-signed
Cortland
Coyle.
Sutton's yeah, Cortland Sutton's probably the most underrated receiver in football.
Yeah.
But again, like no one liked Bo Nix coming out of college, just like no one liked Mac Jones coming out of college. Mac
Mhm.
Jones had a pretty good year one. Let's see it again. I don't know. I don't know why everyone has the Broncos beating the Chiefs to win the division.
That's
Like
crazy.
that's an insane take.
I don't
And
think
like
like
I have to see to believe it.
I think the only like way the Chiefs wouldn't win the division is like if Mahomes just like falls off a cliff.
Yeah, like if he gets hurt. Yeah.
Genuinely, if Mahomes falls off a cliff, like
Hey,
that's the only way that they'll lose the division.
yeah. He's yeah. I mean we don't need to talk about the Chiefs and we can touch on the Raiders real quick.
I think them having Genty is gonna be cool. I think he would actually be like really, really good. I read the stat. He's like I think he had the most tackles broken all time in college football. Like, and it's also like over like a very, very small amount of carries compared to the second amount, which is kind of crazy. And being able to take that kind of skill level and going into the NFL, that I think that would translate a lot because that's just all about your ability to like move and your agility. So I think he'll be able to do that. It's just like that team overall, like they don't really have too much talent, like other than like him. They have Max Crosby on the defensive end. Um, what
best tight end
else?
in the league.
What happened?
Best tight end in the league. Brock Bowers.
Oh yeah, they do have Brock. Yeah, I forgot about Brock Bowers. Yeah, went to Georgia. Yeah, great tight end. Bro, dude. Yeah, last season he had a crazy rookie year.
Yeah. 1100 yards. He's great,
Yeah,
bro.
damn. Nice Travis Kelsey, low key, bro.
Most receiving yards in a rookie season ever by a
Yeah,
tight end. I'm
that's
pretty sure.
wow. Yeah, but like,
And Gino throwing the ball. They had a better team than last year for sure.
but their wide receiver one did request a trade.
He's not getting moved.
Yeah, they're not gonna move him, but
Yeah.
like bro can just like not like play it. Like he just can't. He just doesn't need to play if he doesn't want to. Like that's a
Yeah.
possibility.
I,
Like Jacoby Myers holding out is really kind of crazy.
I feel bad for him, bro, because now that Michael Parsons is the headline, like no one gives a fuck about Jacoby Myers right now, free
And
bro.
Jacoby Myers is actually a solid wide receiver.
Solid, bro. He's a solid top 30 receiver, but
Yeah,
like talking about feel bad for him. Requested a trade at the same time as one of the best defensive players of all time.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild.
nuts.
I don't see the the Raiders like doing anything crazy next season. So I think like 4 is what they'll be.
Yeah, I have a fourth as well.
Yeah.
All right. Let's run through our Super Bowl. So we can go through championship game too if you want to, but like, or you can just say who had finished runner up in the conference. But who's your Super Bowl picks from the AFC and the NFC?
Okay. So from the AFC, I finally have Josh Allen going to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
I'm
finally gonna
just
beat Mahomes.
yeah, finally beats Mahomes. I think Mahomes has won too many times already against him. I feel like the luck hasn't run out, but I just feel like it's getting too repetitive where the gods just say like fuck it, give it to Josh Allen and then he wins. So I think my boy
Okay,
got it.
true.
NFC, who man, like I'm gonna go the Eagles.
Okay,
I think their offense is better than your guys' offense. I think that's where the difference is. Like you have Saquon, you have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith. Like you have so many playmakers on that team. Your quarterback Jalen Hurts. Like I feel like they're gonna go to the Super Bowl again. I think they have a high chance of. I honestly think that they're gonna win it again. I hate to say it, but I think that they win it.
so everyone who knows me knows I like two things about football a lot. I like the Green Bay Packers and I like Patrick Mahomes. So from the AFC, I have the Chiefs. I think I think Mahomes is gonna come back hungry. I think the team's like a lot better than last year. They have a left tackle, which is going to help them a lot. They have Rashid's going to come back after 6 games, which is good. He's going to be rested. He's going to be ready to go. Xavier Worthy bounce up for a bounce back year. I'm pretty high on the Chiefs, and I just don't think Josh Allen's good enough to beat him. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe he gets him at some point, but I think the levels are just too much there. And like if you were to ask me around like maybe 3 hours ago or 4 hours ago, who I had winning the NFC, maybe I would have said the Bucks or maybe I would have said the Eagles. But some moves have been made recently, and I'm pretty confident that my Green Bay Packers will make the Super Bowl. And I think they'll lose to the Chiefs. But I think the Packers make the Super Bowl. I think finally Jordan Love has a wide receiver one. Matthew Golden can catch everything. I like the rest of our players going down a notch. So Jaden Reed as a wide receiver two, John Taven Wicks a wide receiver three, etc. I love Tucker Kraft. I think Josh Jacobs might be the most underrated running back in football. And now with our defense, we have Xavier McKinney. We have as one of the best safeties in the league. We have Evan Williams. We have Javon Bullard. And keep an eye out for Edgerrin Cooper, who I think will be the most improved player this year. I think he's going to be one of the best linebackers in the league. But best defensive player in the league and defensive player of the year, Micah Parsons, is the reason why I have the Packers in Super Bowl.
That's valid. I don't know, bro. The Eagles are just, bro. Their team is so stacked, bro. Like you just look at their roster from head to toe. The way like the coaching staff is able to just like move the ball up and down. I feel like like they run the same kind of offense over and over again, and like nobody really has found a way to really stop it too much. Like I think AJ Brown is gonna have a great year next year. He was a little hurt last season. He only played 13 games. People forget that he's probably one of the best end zone threats as a wide receiver in the league. When he was on the Titans, I think he had 14 touchdowns or like 13 touchdowns one year. So I feel like if they're able to use him a little bit more in the end zone, especially when he's healthy, that'll that'll be a little that'll be something to watch out for. But I think it's you versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. I think it'll definitely be a really good game. I'm not saying that there's no chance that you guys can come out winning. I think it'll be a good game, very close. But I mean, yeah, I think like you said, like your wide receiver one, like you finally have a solidified wide receiver one in Matthew Golden. Again, he's a rookie, so you never know with like I mean it's if it's talented rookie wide receiver, you can kind of expect them to come in and produce, but like sometimes there are some instances where it takes them like a year or two to like just do it. But I mean, if he's able to produce and get you have a 1,000-yard season, I think like that will change my mindset a little bit. But just having that rookie wide receiver as your wide receiver one right now is where like I feel like just especially offensively on that side of the ball, I think that's where the Eagles have you guys beat a little bit.
Hey Chetan, does youngest team in the league trade for a stalwart defensive chip and win a championship sound familiar to you?
Oh yeah, the Thunder.
Sound familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you traded for Crew, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's very true. Damn, bro, this is like kind of off topic, but I was watching a YouTube video today. I'll send it to you later. Somebody was saying how you're gonna get mad heated at this. How Chet might be the most overrated NBA player of all time.
That's crazy, bro.
Was watching and then he posted a clip. One of the reasons he said it is because he's 7 foot in the NBA, and he like posted a video of him working out a couple weeks ago, and he was like lifting like 5-pound
Oh,
dumbbells.
25 dumb. It was such a bad look, bro. I was like, why the hell did you post this?
Why are you posting that?
He was trying to bench like 40 pounds and he couldn't do it, bro. I was like, come on, bro, please. Everyone thinks you gained muscle. Like everyone thinks you've improved year to year. Like, come on. But it's
Hello,
fine.
but that was funny. I think
It's
that's
fine.
a great way
Good
to
way to
end.
end it. Yeah, bro.
But
No.
yeah, I think damn, you're complete opposite from me on both sides of the conferences though. You got Mahomes winning, and then you got you guys winning. So kind of like I have the
Yeah.
same teams going to the championship game, just the opposite. I mean, it's fairly certain that Mahomes makes it to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'll be a fun season. I'm really excited. I think after this episode, we'll probably maybe do a college football episode. I'm also pretty excited for the college football season. I think the first weekend of college football is going to be pretty crazy. There's some really good games lined up. So
Yeah,
I think
let's do our next episode as a reaction to that. A reaction to Saturday, Sunday. Or
yeah,
actually Saturday rather.
yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, but yeah, for the next like couple of weeks, we'll still keep tapping into football until the NBA season gets back up underway. The season starts basically in like what, like a week?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a week from today.
a week from today. So we have our fantasy draft on Monday. So we'll probably also like let you guys know what our teams are, how our teams are looking. But yeah, just keep staying with us. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Off the Dribble Pod. And we will see you guys next episode. Peace.